Hey guys, welcome back to WTF Homestead. I'm Jenny, and today is the day. It is so pretty outside. The weather has just been awesome, and so it looks like that I'm gonna have a few days of just some really nice weather. So I am gonna get out here and get started on our garden. And I've been waiting to do this for quite some time. I thought I was gonna be able to do it one day last week, and my one really nice day, I had other things going and I couldn't get out here, so I'm gonna do that. So I thought I would come and show you guys kind of a little bit of where I'm gonna be putting it, and then we're going to do the greenhouse, or it's kind of a combination between like a greenhouse and a high tunnel. You can kind of set it up either way. Anyway, that's what we're gonna do with it. And then I've got some beds that I'm gonna put up and stuff like that. So let me switch the camera around and I will show you where we're at. And I have my entourage with me. They are always with me. So here's one. This is Artie. He is usually the loudest one that you will hear barking. He's the annoying one. Well, one of the annoying ones. And then these are the other two over here. The other little Pomeranian is Frank. Technically, his name is Frank Jr. Jr. For any of my other friends, fans, you'll get that. His mama's name was Phoebe. And then the other one's name is Stella. She just took off. Oh, there she is. She's over there. See her at the water bowl. She's our one little mini schnauzer. Anyway, Artie is Frank's daddy. So anyway, okay, enough of that. But they will be permanent fixtures out here for sure. So this is our property, and I mean, when I told you that, you know, we are starting from scratch, I was not kidding. So that's the house back over there, and then back out here is where we're gonna put the garden. And this has created a little bit of a problem because we have no water out here. So I'm going to be running some water hoses quite a ways out here to get it going. But this is like the sunniest spot on our property. And right here along this fence line, try not to show my neighbors my neighbors stuff too much. Anyway, so right along this fence line, right here where you see the shade right now, is probably, there will be a little bit more, but it gets a lot of direct sun right through here. So I'm gonna try to keep it up against that fence as much as possible. We use this out here when we have the tractor or anything going. This is like the turnaround. So I need a spot out here big enough for the tractor to turn around. So I'm gonna try to keep it up against this spot as much as I possibly can. So today, I'm going to try to start laying all this out. So this out here is, I had a bunch of, I think I mentioned before, I had a bunch of compost delivered. That's what most of this right here, well, all of this right here is. And then we had, and it actually looks pretty good. It's kind of dried out on top. It's been here for probably, oh gosh, maybe 3 months now, something like that. And then all of this has been here for several months. This is all, I got a ton of it. It's all wood chips. So we had the utility company came and they redid all of the lines up down our road. We have down toward the end of the road is a oh, I don't know what you'd call it. There is an electric company down there toward the end. I forgot, it's escaping me now what it's called. Anyway, it's kind of down toward the end of the road. So we're like one of the main feeds. Our road is one of the main feeds through here. So they came and trimmed all the trees and cut down a bunch of trees. Oh my gosh, we thought we were going to lose our trees in our yard. And we may still lose one. They, excuse me, they cut one back quite a bit, and we're really concerned that we're going to lose it. They wanted to take it down, and we told them no, you know, we want to leave it and see if it will survive it. But they took a lot. There's not much. I think there's like maybe 3 or 4 large limbs left on it. They took a lot. But anyway, that's up at the front of the property. But and then all that behind me, isn't that lovely? I guess everybody that's a homesteader has a pile of crap. That's part of our pile of crap. And then way back there in the back, when we were clearing all these trees, we cleared a lot of the underbrush down behind a lot of those trees. And that's an old lawnmower that was, it was back in the trees. We had to drag it out. Actually, all this stuff was just back in the trees, but there is some kind of cool stuff in there. There's a couple of old metal frames that I'm not really quite sure what they were used for originally, but they're still in pretty good shape. So we'll find something. I'm not sure what we're going to do, but we're going to find something to do with them so they don't go to waste. But anyway, so a lot of these wood chips I'm going to be using. I'm going to be doing a no dig method. And of course with the raised beds and stuff, but even if I did anything at ground level, I will be doing a no dig method. So, and I believe, I may be wrong, there's a couple of different ones. I believe one guy's name is Charles Downey, something like that, I believe is his name. I may have it wrong. I'll try to look him up and link him in the description of this video. There's him, and then a Ruth Stout. And forgive me, but I don't completely remember the differences between the two. I think what I'm doing is more the Charles Downey method. So I'm going to be laying a layer of, or a couple of layers of cardboard on the ground. I'm not going to dig anything. I'm not going to till anything, nothing like that. So I'm going to lay a couple of layers of cardboard on the ground. Then I'm going to put my raised beds, and then I'm going to fill the raised beds in with compost. And I've got tons, oh my gosh, so many leaves and stuff out here. So I'm going to fill it full of stuff like that, and I'm going to plant directly into that compost. So that's the way I'm going to do it this year. And I'm going to do the same things with, even if I were to do them just at ground level, I will be doing the cardboard and then just piling up the compost and stuff on top and planting directly into that. So I'm going to try my best though to keep everything in containers. We do have some critters out here that I'm going to try my best to keep them out. I watched a lady's video the other day, and I don't remember her name. I think I saved it. She was somebody, because it was somebody that I hadn't subscribed to, and she had some really cool ideas. And then I clicked off of her video and I never subscribed. And so I don't remember her name or anything, but she had some kind of cool ideas on how to kind of fence off your beds for relatively inexpensive. So I'm gonna do that to keep them, we have lots of squirrels and things like that, so it's mainly to keep the squirrels and the birds from eating my seedlings while they're tiny, because as I've mentioned before, I am doing everything direct sow. And I say that, but I was watching another lady that I don't remember who. Actually, there's several videos out there on it of people that have started some of their seed starts in Ziploc bags. And it was super, I mean, no money at all. These are just the cheapy little Ziploc bags that you get. Doesn't have to be anything because you're poking holes in it, so you don't really want anything that's like super heavy. And that's it. I mean, it was super easy, and they worked so well. They had really good success with them. And I thought, you know, something like that's fine. I really don't want to go to the expense of the grow lights and all the systems and stuff. So I thought that was probably going to be a pretty good idea. So I may just try some of those just to see how that does. But otherwise, this is what I'm going to get started on today. I'm sitting here talking and wasting time, and it's already after lunch. We had a couple of things we had to do this morning, and then we decided we were just going to stop and eat some lunch. So I am going to get my tripod, and I'm going to set it up so that you guys can watch me out here sweat. And y'all can see me building this from scratch. And I mean, like I said, we have absolutely nothing established, absolutely nothing. So this is literally starting from the ground up. And you know, like I've said before, I'm sure I'm going to make a couple of mistakes. I'm going to try my best not to, but you know, it's just the nature of things. There are going to be things that might have worked for somebody else that I'm trying to kind of copy. And it might not work for me. So, and who knows? I'm still hoping. I'm determined to have a really nice garden this year and at least get something out of it. So, I'm gonna go into it with a good attitude and hopefully keep it all the way through. I'm sure that as I get out here and start working, my nerves are gonna wear thin, and the snakes are already out. So we actually haven't seen any here, but we've been hearing that some people have seen some. And I'm gonna be dragging, let me see if I can turn this around. Back over there in the distance, I have some old railroad ties, and I'm gonna be using some of those. I don't know if you can see real well back here, but anyway, back here, oh, there were lots of snakes out here last year, so I'm sure that down in the middle of all that, I might run across a couple of them, so I've got to be kind of careful about that. But anyway, this is what we're gonna get started on, and hopefully everything will go smooth and we won't have any issues. And I'm hoping to have this done. We have, I believe, well, the rest of this week, so at least 3 or 4 days. Yeah, at least 3 or 4 days. I believe today is March 1st. So I'm like late getting things out, but we're gonna do it. So, all right, I'm gonna go get my tripod. I'm gonna set this up and we're gonna get busy. Okay, I had to turn you a little bit because it ended up being bigger than what I was thinking. And my husband was out here with me because I wanted to walk over, you know, right where I wanted to put it to make sure I had plenty of room for what he's wanting for the tractor and stuff like that. And he kept telling me, he said, babe, he said, you're not gonna, because I keep telling him, you know, that I need space outside of my greenhouse for what I want to plant. And he said, I don't think you realize how much space you're going to have in this greenhouse thing. And I said, well, I don't think you understand that I've actually given this some thought, and I'm going to have enough for inside my greenhouse, and then I still want several beds outside of my greenhouse, which I still do. But so I'm arguing with him, and I'm just determined, like, I'm going to show him that I'm right. Then I started measuring this out and laying it out. This thing is much bigger than I thought. How am I going to tell him, okay, you were right? So I already had intended that I was going to have to build more beds than what I have, because actually right now I only have 4. So I know I'm gonna take more than that. And I was gonna double it, but then I have a bunch of buckets and I have a bunch of the grow bags and things like that that I'm gonna kind of use in certain areas too. And I was thinking about doing a couple of straw bale type things and trying those, but anyway, so I had other things, you know, in mind other than just these beds that I have ready to go in. And yeah, now I'm really thinking I might need to, like, you know, triple or quadruple what I was thinking for inside here. So anyway, I thought that was kind of funny. Anyway, okay, I'm getting back to work. Boxes are down. That's a lot harder than what you think. And I've been saving up these boxes for, oh my gosh, for months. And I thought I was gonna have a bunch left over. I did throw some away. If they had a whole lot of plastic on them, a whole lot of tape that was gonna be really hard to get off, I took all that off, or I took those over to the burn pile. But those are down. So my husband is warming up the tractor. We're gonna go drag some of the railroad ties over so that we can start getting this held down before the wind. Thankfully today's been, it's been pretty calm actually, but I just don't want anything, I don't want it to start blowing these all over the yard. My neighbors, oh my gosh, they'd probably kill me. They're probably gonna come home and wonder what the heck I'm doing in their backyard with it being right here, but it won't look this bad later on. That was one of the things that my husband kept saying when I kept telling him my idea of what I wanted to do. He's like, babe, I just don't want it to look bad. And I said, I don't want it to look bad either. I promise it'll look good. And he came out a few minutes ago and saw me doing this. And he's just looking at me like, yeah, this is not good. It'll be better. All right, we'll be back. Okay, I think we got all the, I think we got all the railroad ties at least dumped off for right now. I had to go in and change my shirt. I was moving some of those ties and I didn't notice until I stopped and I took my glove off and I got bit by an ant. And then I looked down and my shirt was just completely covered. I mean, they just started swarming me. I ran and took my shirt off real fast. I had to go change real quick. Okay, back at it. So these instructions was one of the things that people were complaining about online, was that they loved the greenhouse thing, the item itself, but the instructions are a joke. Oh my gosh, you guys, look at this. There are no instructions. It's just a big old diagram. Anyway, it says right here at the top, it takes 2 people 2 hours. It's going to take me 2 hours to decipher these hieroglyphics. We shall see. Wish me luck. Hey guys. Okay, day 2. I'm spilling my coffee. I gotta get off the porch here. Anyway, day 2. I worked last night until right just as the sun started going down. So we got quite a bit done, and then I went over and picked up all of my stuff to start bringing it in, and my phone died somewhere. That's what I'm recording on. I'm so disappointed because we got the whole frame built last night and I thought I had recorded every bit of it. So I was really bummed, although it might be kind of a good thing because I laid down on the ground trying to reach one of the bolts that I was trying to screw in as I got toward the end and everything was getting really tight, and so I was trying to get all the holes to match up exactly, and it was such a pain. And so I laid down on the ground right in the middle of another ant bed. So anyway, I had to get up and clean all that off and everything. I had ant bites, my whole arm was swollen and it was a mess. So anyway, I'm coming out here. I'm gonna show you what we got done. We got the whole frame built and then moved over here on top of the railroad ties where I'm going to put them, but I'm going to have to move them apart. It looks so bad right now. Hold on, let me turn the camera around. So, see if you can see the frame here. So we got the whole frame put up. I'm pretty happy with it. It looks pretty good. And it's heavy. I mean, when I started putting this together, I'm like, man, these little poles are just real flimsy. I mean, they are, you know, pretty small. But once it's all together, it's pretty sturdy. So anyway, so obviously I have, you know, my boards are off here, so I've got to get those moved over today. Get them moved out a little bit. I'm basically kind of using my ties, these railroad ties, as a way to anchor this down. We get some really strong winds here, and anyway, we get some really strong winds here, and I didn't trust the little ties that came with it. So if once that covering is on it, I mean, I can just picture it as just a sail. So my idea was we had all these railroad ties are just laying out here, and we actually had to throw a bunch over in the wood pile because they were just completely rotted out. And there are still a couple of them on here that have some pretty good rotten spots, but I think that the way I'm going to turn it, I think they'll be okay, and they'll last another several years. We may eventually have to replace them, but I'm really not too worried about it. And I have several extras just laying over here to the side. They were some of the little smaller ones, so I think I'm going to use them for some flower beds and stuff. But if we have to cut them, they're just super, super hard. Jeremy cut a few of them for me yesterday with the chainsaw, but they took quite a while to cut. They're super hard to cut through. But anyway, so I have those there if I need them. Anyway, so but I think that's what I decided that I wanted to do to anchor this down. Plus, it would allow me those few extra inches of, turn back around here. So it will give me those few extra inches right there of it up off the ground. So it makes it a little bit taller, which I'm short, so it's not really that big a deal. But I just wanted, you know, for once I get a bed in here, a raised bed, and then the plants growing, I just didn't want them to start growing into that curve of the, you know, the top. So anyway, that was kind of my thought process. Now whether that works or not, I don't know, but as of right now, that's what we're going with. So anyway, so I'm just going to use those little U brackets. I don't really know what those are called, and I'm going to screw, you know, ever so many inches all the way around this thing so that if the wind comes through, it's going to tear it up, you know, to get it off. So we're going to have a pretty big storm. It should be able to handle quite a bit. And this had really good reviews from people that live all over the country that have had it in severe storms. One, and I can't remember, it was one of the reviews. That's actually the reason why I bought it. And that's what they were specifically talking about. There was a big storm that had come through their area that had some major winds, and it survived it. And so I thought, you know, that's really kind of what I wanted. But anyway, so I still have a little bit more work to do. It looks absolutely terrible right now. I mean, this is even getting hard for me to picture. I keep telling myself to, you know, think of the end goal, but anyway, so I'm gonna get out here and get started this morning trying to get these railroad ties moved around so that I can get my frame anchored on, and I will check my video from time to time and make sure that I'm not running out of battery so I don't miss any of it again. So hopefully by the end of the day I will have all of this completed with the cover on it, and I'm hoping that I can actually get several loads of my dirt and stuff in here so that it really starts to kind of take shape. And you know, I didn't really go over this yesterday, the reason for these boxes or all the cardboard and stuff on the ground. That is part of the I don't know if I'm saying his name right, Charles Downey or Dowdy, I'm not really sure, one of those. Like I said yesterday, I will look it up and I'll link it down. But anyway, part of his thing is you put a layer of cardboard down, a couple, and I want a couple of layers, and everybody that I've talked to, or not talked to, but watched their videos, they said make sure that no dirt is seen. You can't see any ground through the boxes, because any little pinpoint of light and you'll have grass that'll start coming up. And that's the whole point, is to really kill the grass off so that I'm not fighting weeds and grass inside my garden. So you put that down, and the worms absolutely love cardboard. They will have this broken down in no time. So once I cover it with my wood chips or my dirt or whatever I'm going to do in here, then you won't even see that. It will be completely covered, and it's just an extra home to really draw those earthworms and stuff in, which is awesome for your garden. So that's the whole point of that. And it's supposed to help make a really healthy garden. And it, from what I've seen, the reviews of people that have tried it, they've absolutely loved it because it keeps the weeds and grass down so well. And I mean, it's something that I would have thrown in my burn pile or thrown in the trash. So if I can get another use out of them, then I think that's great, and especially if it helps feed my garden. So anyway, that's the game plan for today. I'm actually hoping that I have this pretty well done. And you know what? I know I'm running. I guess I need to get some work done, but I wanted to turn this around and show you. So where I wanted to add, you know, that height there for it to be picked up off the ground. So I knew it was going to be like that. And I knew that the back of it has like a large window, but it stays closed all the time. And then the front, this front spot here has a door. So I just assumed that with the door that it wouldn't have this bottom brace, but it does. So now our debate is, when I'm going to bring another piece of this railroad tie, I'm going to cut one to go right here. So now I'm wondering if I need to cut this bar right here. I don't know, but I don't want to mess with the integrity of the frame itself either. So I'm a little nervous about it, but I do not want that step up. My husband's like, well, let's just make it solid and you just have a step in. And I really don't want to do that, because I know me. I'm so clumsy, and I could see myself walking out here, you know, and thinking I've stepped up high enough and not, and trip myself. So I don't know. That may be something that we leave solid for a little bit and see how I like it. But I have a feeling that I'm going to end up cutting that off. But then I'll have to figure out something, some type of little door or something right there, because then that would just be an open spot in my greenhouse. So I don't know. That's kind of one of those that I should have thought this through, but I need to go back on, I guess, and look at the reviews online, because there were several people that lifted this up and put it on a wooden frame. And now they built the frame to go with it, but I didn't pay any attention to see if they did that, if they cut that doorway out. I need to go on and look and see if anybody else has done that, but I guess really it doesn't matter. It's mine, and if I want to do it, I'll do it. But anyway, all right, I'm going to shut up now. I've been talking for way too long, so I'm going to get my camera set up and we're going to get to work again. Okay guys, here is our final greenhouse. Well, I guess White House. I'm actually really proud of it. There's a few things about it that I was a little disappointed about, but they'll be okay, I think. So let me turn the camera around and I'm gonna show you what we've got. So this is the bar here for the front. We are gonna go ahead and cut that off. I've reinforced the two sides. So my husband's gonna get the saw out and cut that. So we still have a couple of small things left to do like that. And then around the outside of it, so all along down here on the bottom, that is just loose. This greenhouse is made to sit on flat on the ground, and these would flare out and sit on the ground, and you put like dirt bags or things like that on top of it to weight it down, sandbags and stuff. But I wanted to raise it up just a little bit, and I needed something to anchor it to, so that's why we used these railroad ties. So that left me with this flap down here at the bottom, and it's just blowing. If you can see down there, the wind's just blowing it. So I'm gonna get some kind of little tack. We didn't have anything here that we thought would work that wouldn't tear it real bad. So I've got to go get some of those, and so we got to get that done. But otherwise, I'm happy with that. It's got 4 windows on each side that roll up, and they do have screen on them, which is kind of cool. Walk over here, I'll show you this side. So this is this side. Pretty good. I moved a couple of flower pots over here. I don't even know what was in that one, but it's obviously seen better days, so we'll find something. I was thinking about planting some kind of flowers or something, just something pretty here. That's a rose bush that's actually doing pretty well, but it is leaning something terrible, so I may have to adjust it, and I may end up just putting that in the ground and planting something else there. It might need to be transferred into something else. Anyway, and then in here, so one of the things that I was a little bit disappointed in is I thought that had a back window. I knew that it didn't have a door, but I thought that it did have a window. So I'm a little nervous that this is gonna get really hot. I mean, the temperature in here will be hotter than outside, so I know in the summer I'm gonna fight some of that, especially being here in Texas. So I know there's a few things there that I'm gonna have to really watch. And oh man, I'm standing here and I see a little tiny tear where we caught it. Man, I'm gonna have to get something and patch that. This is actually pretty sturdy. So I'm surprised that it tore. This stuff is, I mean, I was pulling on it pretty hard, and it wasn't doing anything. So it looks like it caught a screw. I bet there was like a little sharp spot that I didn't see. So I think it turned out pretty well with these beds like this. I was originally gonna do those, the beds that I bought. I just bought some frames. I'll show you those here in just a second. And I was gonna put those in here, but once I got this built and I started looking at those, I was afraid it wasn't gonna give me very much space here in the middle. And I needed this big enough because they're about double the width of these. So I would have just had this little skinny thing to walk through here, and I really wanted to be able to get a wheelbarrow or something like that in here. So I thought, well, I kind of like this a little better. When I was putting everything together, I had that railroad tie back there, that one that's got the big hump in it right there in the back. It was just laying here in the center, and we were going to drag it out, and I got to messing with it, and I thought, you know, I like that in here. So that kind of gave me the idea to go ahead and use the rest of the railroad ties and make the rest of these beds in here. So I think it's going to be pretty good. I still have a little bit of work to do on my dirt. This compost had a lot of large pieces in it, so I'm going to have to do some sifting in it, get some of those pieces out so that I can get my stuff planted in here. But so far, I think everything's going to be okay, and I think I have enough space in here in the center that if I wanted to set a couple of pots through here or something like that, I still would have plenty of room to do that. But all in all, I think it's pretty good. I'm hoping that this will, the ground here, the wood chips that I put in the bottom, I hope they pack down a little better. I like that cardboard for underneath the beds, but I don't know, I'm not sure that I'm that crazy about it right in here. But if it helps keep the weeds down at where I don't have to do a whole lot of weeding in here, then I'll be okay with it. But I'm hoping that it packs down enough to where it just feels weird to walk on it. So I don't know, we'll see. That's something that I'm not completely sure about. I may rather bring in some gravel or something to, I don't know, just something. I'm just not sure that I'm crazy about that. But otherwise, I'm actually really happy with this. It is a lot sturdier. I was kind of nervous about it when we started putting it together because the poles are pretty small. But once it all went together, it's pretty sturdy. So, I mean, we've moved it all around. We've done all kinds of stuff to it, and it has held up to us so far. So, and I think with tying this down to the railroad ties will really help with the strong winds and stuff that we have come through here. Although where I have it sitting is kind of tucked in some trees, so we don't get a lot of, like, you know, really strong winds. There's not enough room for it to really do much, but we do get some winds. So anyway, that was one of my big things that I was really concerned about, and one of my reasons for wanting to use these railroad ties was something I didn't want to use just the little what do you call those? The little ties that they have that just kind of corkscrew down into the ground. I knew that wasn't gonna work. I mean, around here, it's not uncommon during the springtime and stuff, when winds and stuff hit, that you hear about trampolines flying half a mile away, you know, and stuff like that. So I did not want this to, I didn't want to wake up one day and it be over in my neighbor's yard. So I think this will help. But other than trimming this pole right here where we're going to walk, the entrance to it, we're going to cut that out, and then doing the tacking around the bottom to keep those flaps down, so that right now it's just open for any squirrel that wants in there, and I'm sure it'll be full if I let it go. But other than that, that's it. And then I'm ready to plant in there. So I'm not sure quite yet what I'm going to put in there. I do know that I am going to put some of my garlic in here, because I'm so late getting it out. It should have been out in October, November. So I'm way late getting it out. So I'm hoping that putting it in here will extend my growing season even further, so I can actually get a good harvest off of it. But the ones that have already started sprouting that I have in the house, I'm going to go ahead and try to plant some of those outside too, so I can kind of compare and see which ones do better, because I am, like I said, worried about the heat inside here for too many things. So we'll see. So then over here to the side, we've put in, these are the raised beds that I bought. So I only bought 4 of them. And like I said, I'm probably going to go buy some more, but for now, I'm going to leave it with just that. I'm trying to keep my neighbors out of there. Anyway, I'm going to leave it for now and just see what I can get planted in here, because it is still quite a bit. And then we had those railroad ties right there that were left over. And so I had my husband cut them for me to make another bed. So I actually have several that are good size, that I'm hoping that I can get a lot more in here than what I'm thinking. And then I have these big buckets over here, and somewhere I have, so these buckets here, and somewhere I have more. I believe that in total I have like 7, 8, something like that. So I have more somewhere. I just don't know where they're at. I'm gonna have to go find them. But I had potatoes in these. This is what I grew my potatoes in last year. These are just some ferns that, look at these. They're turning green again. These have been in the shop all winter with absolutely 0 water. So I brought them out. I'm gonna take them out of these little hanging pots that they came in, and I'm gonna plant them probably around the greenhouse just to kind of give it a little bit of greenery. But when we were dragging these out, I noticed, turn this, so I noticed this one right here is a, what is that? That's turmeric. This right here is a turmeric that has just shot up. I'm pretty sure that's what that is. And this one, it looks kind of bad now, but I'm hoping that it will come back. Actually, it is. There are a couple of little green, I don't know if you can see, right there. I'm not sure if you can see that. It's kind of hard to see. There's another one right here. It's just starting right there. That is horseradish root. So I do have two that are that are coming back. So with that, so I'm thrilled with that. But anyway, so at least my garden is kind of somewhat coming along. It took us way longer. Today is day 4. And it is just, I guess it's like anywhere else on any homestead that you get something started and we're pulled off in 1,000 different directions. There's always something going on. We've had some guys here that are helping us trim up some of our trees. We couldn't reach them, and so we had to hire some people to come out and get some of the ones that we couldn't reach. And so we've had to stop and deal with that. And oh my goodness, it's just been one thing after another. But anyway, all in all, 4 days, which I never thought it would take that long. But it's been well worth it. I'm exhausted, but I'm so excited to finally get this going and hopefully have some really cool, some really pretty plants going here pretty soon. So anyway, there's my, there we go. I love it. I love it. I'm so excited. I will put a link in the description. I bought this online, and I want to say I paid right at, shoot, I don't want to lie. It was somewhere right around $300. And I was originally going to do one of those cattle panel hoop houses that I see people build all the time. But we had none of the lumber. We don't have any of the cattle panels, which reminds me, I've got to go get a couple because 2 of those big beds over there are going to be my tomatoes. So I have to get some, I've got to get that so they can grow on. But anyway, we didn't have any of the cattle panels. And so we were going to have to buy everything. So I got in there and started researching to find out, you know, how much it's going to cost. We were upwards of like $700. And that really didn't even cover like screws and things like that. I mean, it was getting really pricey. It's a great idea, and it probably would be even more sturdy than this. And the plastic that you have to get to go on that was another couple $100. So you're looking at pretty close to $1,000 in building one of those hoop houses. And anyway, so then I found this one, and I mean, I scoured the reviews on this, and the reviews were actually pretty good. Now, there were a lot of people that just used it for like an outdoor setting area and stuff like that. So I kind of blew those off, but there were several that used them for a greenhouse or slash high tunnel, you know, we don't really know how you want to, what you want to call it. And there were some really good reviews. Of course, there were some bad ones too, but there's going to be a bad review on everything. But the good with the bad and everything, the good outweighed the bad. And so I thought, you know what, for the money, I'm going to give it a try. So, and I'm honestly, at this point, I'm pleasantly surprised. We will see at the end of the season if I have any trouble with it tearing. I am really concerned about that one little tear. I've got to remember to go get something and patch that. But otherwise, that's the only thing. And I will bet you, because it is right on one of the bolts, and I will almost bet that there was a little spot that was rough, and it caught that, but I'm gonna go look. Anyway, but other than that, I've actually been very surprised at how sturdy it was. Like I said, we were tugging on that thing really hard, getting it up there, and I mean, nothing. So, so far, so good. I'm happy with it, and for the money, to me, I couldn't beat it. And I think it's every bit as sturdy as one of those with the cattle panels. But like I said, we'll see, and I will let you guys know what I think about it at the end of the season, if we had any more issues with it or anything like that. But I will link it down in the description if anybody else is interested in it. It is made in China, so those of you that don't like that, I didn't really like it either. And to be honest with you, when I ordered it, I didn't even pay attention to that. And it was later that I thought, oh man, I didn't even look. So, and it was. So I don't like that about it, but it's done. You know, there's nothing I can do about it now. So anyway, that's it for this time. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I know it's been just a lot of just kind of sitting and watching us and stuff, but I love watching these kinds of things, and I'm excited to have it done, and I'm excited to have everybody kind of follow me on this, and hopefully hopefully I'll have some good news coming out of this thing here in the next few months. So anyway, that's gonna do it for this time. So the next time you see me, we will be planting stuff in here and getting all of this set up, and then hopefully in a couple of months everything will be green and beautiful. So anyway, that's gonna do it this time. I don't know if I even said my intro at the beginning of this video series, because I know that when we decided to do it, it was like, hey, let's get out there and get it done. So if not, very late. I'm Jenny. This is WTF Homestead, and I really do appreciate you guys being here and following me on this crazy wild journey that we're on trying to homestead. So if you guys enjoy this, y'all please like and subscribe, share it with your friends and everything. Other than that, until the next video, I will see you guys. Y'all have an awesome day. Bye-bye.